Well, good morning, lunatics. I'm Sunday and Dejan Kovacevic, and this is Morning Java, brought to you, as always, by the Get-Go Cafe and Market. They are our very good friends, and right now they have the captain.
The captain.
The captain. Do you know what the captain is?
It's a fish sandwich, I have heard.
It is 7 inches of fish, and it is some good fish.
Is that right? Fresh tasting and
I
all
like
that
it.
other stuff that you want in a fish sandwich?
I like it, and I'm a Pittsburgher, so I put cheese on it. Sue me.
He puts cheese on it. At least he doesn't put ranch dressing on it.
I don't. Nor marinara. That would be kind of weird, I think.
It's almost baseball season, Sunday.
It is.
That's crazy.
It is.
It doesn't feel normal. I mean, you and I were at Bradenton when it all got started, and that doesn't feel all that long ago.
Dude, we just learned who the left side of the infield was going to be like a week ago. I mean, it's like, that's weird to think about.
But here's the part that's been set all along. The pitching staff, really not just the starters, but the back 3, 4, 5 even of the bullpen have been set for a while. This team is going to be able to pitch.
Yeah, they sure are. And not only throw fastballs, curveballs, sliders, whatever you want to throw at people, but they do it with some style, some charisma, some laughter in the bullpen, some anger, some fierce yells, all that good stuff that make the photos.
They have, and I think this really applies to the starting pitchers, but also to Felipe Vasquez. They have that it about them. You saw the way they carried themselves in Bradenton. You saw the way they carried themselves last season through a lot of their individual successes. And you know, one of the things that I'm reminded of, Trevor Williams, Joe Musgrove also talked about this to me when we were down there, was they feel like when they walk into the stadium that they are, for lack of a better, classier term, they're the badasses. They're the ones that walk in with that attitude, like, we don't have to beat you, you have to beat us.
Yeah, no, I mean, I believe it. Listen, I'm always going to love shooting Gregory Polanco. I'm always going to love shooting Josh Bell. They look really good in photos. They look good with their hats tilted and their sunglasses looking awesome. But man, Joe Musgrove might be my might be my guy, man.
Musgrove's your spirit animal out there on the mound. He is he's got that edge to him. But again, they all do in a different way. And they talk about it like they'll say, like the one guy they always seem to apologize for in that regard is Tyon, where they'll say, well, JT, he's got his own thing. He's got, okay, but he's going to break your knees with that curveball.
He is. The curveball's going to break legs.
And it's a different kind of badassedness, if you will.
Yeah, and the thing that, it always cracks me up a little bit because he gets somebody, and he gets them, and I can't tell if I'm looking at him, I don't know if it was called a ball or a strike, because he does this clenched thing, he bites his lip a little bit, and he kind of hits his glove. I'm like,
what'd you just do?
Did you get him? I'm waiting for, give me a sign, man, give me a sign.
Yeah, the ultimate sign, though, is when they walk off the mound. Especially later in the game, and they do it with their heads up. And I think we're going to see a lot of that from this team. They're not perfect, though, and we'll talk about that next. See, it's one thing to discuss Sunday whether or not the Pirates are going to hit, because then you start, working your way around the field and around the lineup in your head and everything. See, to me, I'm going to condense the whole thing, and I don't care if this is unfair, to whether or not Josh Bell is going to break out. I really think that's almost that simple.
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of waited for it to happen last season.
Yep, so did he.
It never did. And the thing that was weird about it, for me at least, was, all the stories were written. You hear about the Tinkerbell stuff and, just the teammates joking with him, the coaches. He always plays with his swing and his stance until he gets it right. And the fact that it took all season for nothing to click, no matter how much he adjusted.
Because he kept changing.
Yeah, I mean, that is a part of it, but...
I mean, Clint Hurdle's been pretty tough on him in that regard.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean, somebody had to crack down on it. We've seen better pop, we've seen better power down in Bradenton, but all of that, as you've pointed out many times, that's a grain of salt kind of thing.
Yeah, Bradenton home runs. The main thing that Josh Bell needs to do, and when you get him in a raw moment, and he's not over contemplating. The kid is just so smart, and between him and his family, I've dealt with his parents. These are just like egghead people. Okay, well, that can be good. It also can be bad, and I think in a lot of cases where Josh is concerned, it's really hurt him, because he'll go up there and he'll do a dissertation on a pitch as it's coming to him, instead of just doing what everyone knows he can do, and that's light tower power.
Dr. Bell's got like a good ring to it, though,
Yeah,
doesn't
I
it?
know.
So I mean, if he doesn't find the power, I mean, there's something there for him. He could go by that.
But if it's, other guys around him, Adam Frazier, I trust. I couldn't believe he started off slowly last year. I wasn't surprised at all to see him break out. Jung Ho, I guess we'll see. The shortstops, I don't know. Cervelli's is going to hit. I'm skipping the shortstops on purpose. In the outfield, I mean, you need to get Polanco healthy, but then we know what we're going to get from Dickerson and Marte.
Yeah, no, it's good that, especially when we were down there, and I think John Prado, of course, has written about this all along and at least hinted at it, that Polanco just seems to be so involved and just happy, and he's
happy
more
to
like
be
himself.
there.
Yeah.
That's the impression I got from him when we were down there, is that he got scared. I mean, he saw these guys when they have a serious injury like that, and that's something they tell you can't throw the ball, you can't touch the ball, you can't swing a bat for months. You might miss half of next season. You start seeing everything that you've ever done in your life, meaning all baseball, flash before you.
Yeah, and I mean, as you've talked about, the kind of inner competition between a lot of these guys, and when he looks across the field and he sees Starling Marte out there,
those two,
and Marte coming back after the suspension,
and everyone talking about how he's our best player and he's our everything, and yeah,
it's got to hurt a little bit to be missing time. But I mean, I just got the vibe that he seemed so happy, the way. Just joking around with Cervelli in the lockers.
Great place. Bottom line, 2019 Pirates, yay or nay?
I bought last year.
Yeah.
I thought that I thought that the lineup was actually better with Dickerson, and nobody wanted to think about it at the time, losing a guy like Andrew McCutchen. But I thought that they were so comparable, and that he did things maybe differently that would help the team.
And then Dickerson wins a Gold Glove. And he's always been a first half hitter, and he nosedives in the second half, and that happened too, though.
The reason I want to buy on them this year, I'm not ready to say that they're just going to flat out be better than last year, because even if it's by a game, that's not good.
It's enough. 83 wins, yeah.
Right. I mean, they need the pitching staff to number one, be what we think that they can be, and they don't have to be perfect, but they just have to give them a chance most nights that they go out. If they do that and give the bats a chance to at least compete.
See, I think they're going to be feeding right off of that last phrase of yours. They're going to be frustrating. I think they're going to be exasperating at times, because they're going to pitch, they're going to keep you in games, and they're not going to hit for the most part. And what ends up happening then is there's nothing that bothers you more, that troubles you more, even just as a fan or as an observer of the team, than when you waste pitching. In any time in baseball, right? So then you start magnifying, when does Clint pull this guy? When did he bring that guy in? Things that get magnified because you couldn't score another run or two. This team has to cross, in my opinion, a 4-run threshold on a consistent basis in order to be a real winner, and that's asking a lot of this lineup.
Yeah, sure. And I mean, when you look at even the elite ERAs around the league, I mean, asking teams to hold anybody at or around four runs a game that's asking a lot.
And then if they do that, though, if they do hit, and I'm going to point it all at Josh Bell again, because he's right there in the middle, and he has to put the ball over the fence for this team to be successful. If that happens, these guys are going to pitch, and they can surprise people if you're looking for hope.
Well, if you're looking for hope, it's not going to come from Mike Trout, so...